everyone, we are starting the vlog with a trip downtown. It's a Sunday and the start of spring, which marks the start of the weekly Sunday antiques at the historic St. Lawrence Market. I quite like the quieter downtown vibes before it starts to get busier in the afternoon.
The journey is not ours to control. I'm glad that it is so.
It's always fun to browse and spark conversations of memories, as well as marveling at the innovations of the past.
Everything I desire, but as strange as it may sound, when I'm still, things seem to come around. The journey is not ours to control. The journey is not ours to control.
If I'm by a bookstore, I always try to take a quick loop in and see what kinds of children's books are on the market currently.
I'm glad that it is so. I'm lucky it is so. I'm glad that it is so. I'm lucky it is so.
Last summer, we went here at the Distillery District with Victorian industrial type buildings to take photos. We used this wide format film camera. It's a really beautiful area in downtown Toronto. We're still working on the roll of film, a few shots left, but I'm looking forward to developing our first attempt. I'm continuing working on my Hong Kong themed building project. I'm drawing each face of the building. Everything is planned and measured out, so it's just a matter of execution and putting in the hours to paint. Something like this takes me 3 full days to paint, but that hasn't accounted for planning. If this was a client project, it would take me much more time to handle contract negotiations, maybe accommodating rounds of concept development, prototyping, and definitely revisions. I wanted to make this building project a personal one so that I could streamline my workflow, allowing me to maximize time spent in creation. So, bypassing all the typical logistics in client-driven projects. Of course, I do extremely value client projects because it really teaches me an invaluable lesson on collaboration, communication, and stretches your imagination too. But I think it's important to have personal side projects where you can creatively explore ideas however you want with limited restrictions and at your own pace. For me, it reminds and anchors me back to why I love making art, expressing the world through my unique perspective. It does definitely require some discipline, and I do feel burnout painting the same subject matter one after another. The quick summary of the creation process is I print a rough outline of the building, then trace this onto watercolor paper so that I know the division of the floors and location of the windows. I look at my thumbnail sketches of characters and objects, and from there I directly sketch in roughly the scene onto the watercolor paper. The coloring process actually obscures some of the line work, so I go back in a second time to touch up and darken the lines. Even though it's a bit time consuming, I quite like the effect of line hierarchy. You can have a set of lighter colored line work as a base, and then play with thickening it up on the second pass to give it more visual variation. Since I'm working with a colored pencil, the tip naturally wears down and gives line thickness differences too. I have learned that uneven line weights really help to liven up my illustrations, which is why I have transitioned away from single line weight outlining pens like Microns a few years ago. Another weekend, another antique visit checked off. I want to try exploring more antique shops in the surrounding cities and small towns. It's a cozy little adventure, and I love discovering the unexpected. Okay, time for another panel. I'm working hard here. The top floor is a tailor's shop and the middle is a traditional Hong Kong style cafe, serving egg tarts and milk tea. I hope you get a chance to try out some Hong Kong milk tea. It's one of my favorite drinks and prepared using a special pouring technique and silk net filters. Something about the clashing of the liquids to enhance the aroma and tea infusions. I took a break to try out a new Switch game I was gifted. It's called Chicory: A Colorful Tale, and I was curious about a game centered around painting mechanics. The concept is like an interactive coloring book, using paint to uncover hidden paths and unlocking puzzles. The story touches upon the pressures of being an artist, with themes of imposter syndrome, burnout, and struggling with confidence. The boss battle symbolizes internal fears and doubts. There are also more specifically painting tasks, such as designing a donut or making a painting based on prompts, all of which help to move the game forward. It's a heartwarming indie game with an empathetic and sensitive message that I feel will connect to artists. Now for the final touches of the painting. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I'll be going to a craft show this weekend, so maybe you will see bits of that in the next video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'm looking forward to reading your comments too. Bye!